Well, we're back at your place with noisy-ass fucking birds again, Monty.
You know that there's always birds here. I live in somewhat of a avian sanctuary.
There's one thing that I've discovered about you lately. It's that you love the word avian.
Yeah, I do quite like the word avian.
Now, I saw something a bit funny on the way over here. I can't decide whether it's funny or not. I need your help, right?
I can help with that.
Okay. So, for some reason, I guess because it's school holidays, there's a lot of learner drivers around at the moment.
No, I'll tell you what also, yes, there is. But this area I live in here, there seems to just be a lot of learners.
There's heaps. I was like a couple of streets away from your house is where this event happened that I'm about to
that's
tell
what
you.
I figured. And a couple of streets away from my house is a RTA. What do they call that now?
Service New South Wales?
Yeah, and so I think a lot of the learner companies run from out of that place so that they teach you the thing. So yeah, no, there's fucking everywhere, bro.
So yeah,
what happened?
This involved two of those professional learning cars.
Yeah, yep.
They nearly had an accident. Two of them nearly had an accident together.
Doesn't surprise me. Together, that's better.
Yeah, almost scraped each other.
That's
quite
what I'm
funny.
saying. What was the manoeuvre?
So there was one parked, and there was another one trying to go past, but it was going a little bit too close to the parked car and nearly gave it a real solid scraping.
Sounds like the poor parked one didn't have much of a issue in this scenario.
No, but what I'm asking you is that funny or not? Because
no,
I found it funny at first, but then I thought, well, it's not that funny because if anyone's going to have an accident, it's two learners, isn't it?
I got a funny story for you about learner driving. When I first started to learn to drive, my father was teaching me to drive, and we went to a quiet place in the inner west of Sydney to learn to drive, and I was going around a roundabout, and near the roundabout was a tennis court, and my friend was playing tennis, and I was like, oh, there's my friend Jimmy. And I said, hey, Jimmy, and Jimmy waved out, hey, Monty, what are you doing?
And you ran up the back of someone.
No, I came out of the roundabout on the right side of the road.
Oh.
And Dad was yelling at me. I'm like, wait, Dad, just shut up. I'm talking to Jimmy. Jimmy's out there. He's like, no, you're on the wrong side of the road. You're on the wrong side. I'm like, nah, but Jimmy. And I didn't realise then all the people at the tennis court were laughing at me and Dad was laughing at me and I felt terrible.
Oh, but you didn't crash. And
No.
you brought us around to sport, which is more than we did last week.
Tennis.
Yeah.
There you go. Or race car driving, which...
Let's talk about some. All right, let's talk about a few things happening here. NBA Finals, eh?
Hey.
Lakers are up 2-1, and LeBron getting a bit feisty in Game 3.
Yeah. So so they were up 2-0. They smashed them the first two games. This is Miami. The Lakers beating Miami. And in Game 3, which, look, it's weird because it's in the bubble, but I think Game 3 is a Miami home game. Which, weirdly, have you watched any of the NBA? It's fine if you haven't.
Yeah.
They have pretty interesting...
Sorry, can I stop you there? It's fine if I haven't.
Yeah.
What if it wasn't fine? What would happen?
I would have gone silent.
Oh, okay.
I just would have stopped talking.
Okay. Sorry, go ahead.
That's all right. They have quite a large kind of like digital wall on either side of the thing that fans at home kind of thing.
Can I just say,
Yeah, you can say whatever you want.
how fucking annoying and pointless is that? I don't want to see some close-up of some goog's head just because they want to pretend there's a crowd there.
Well, it was bloody Shaq sitting next to Barack Obama at the last game.
All right.
So, like...
They're name-dropping digitally.
Yeah, and they're just sitting there watching. It's quite interesting. But, so home game, Miami, third game. Miami were also missing a few of their good players, but they had their main man, Jimmy Butler, quite like Jimmy Butler. And in the end of the first quarter, I think LA were up by a fair whack. And LeBron said to him, "You're in danger, Jimmy, I believe. You're in danger," which I just love as a weird quote. That's a real good one. And then...
But as in your team's in danger of losing?
I assume, or it's some weird warning about maybe a prophecy.
Yeah.
You're in danger.
Tonya Harding or something.
Nice. But then he reverse at the end, about 20 seconds to go, and Jimmy Buckets was up and said to him, "You're in danger, you're in danger." And it appeared to piss LeBron off that he left the court. Just in the middle of a play, 10 seconds to go, they weren't going to win, but LeBron walked off. Just literally just defending and then walked away.
Okay.
I thought that was pretty weird.
It's not professional,
No.
but it's also, well, yeah.
Is that all right?
I don't think so. I think if you get paid the kind of money they do,
Stay on the court.
stay that 10 seconds.
Those digital fans paid for something.
Barack throwing his hands up in the air.
Hey, what
What the hell is this?
is this going to be your Barack impression? I'm excited for this.
That was it.
That was all right.
Novak's at it again. He's got the linesman in his sights again. It's a bit softer this time round. And
Seemed far less like it could have been on purpose too, but
Yeah.
still, you would just think the only thing you're doing is trying not to hit anyone with a tennis ball, right? Like usually you'd be 99.9% focused on your tennis match, but surely Novak would have to be 2% focused on
the
not
rest
hitting.
of his career focused on the niggle in the back of his head.
That's great. It's great. You can't write that stuff. He did it again. I love that.
Yeah.
He's a serial, tennis ball whacker at people.
Yeah, or he's got a bet on with someone so large that it's potentially bigger than his career earnings for the rest of his career, that he could hit a linesperson in every single game he plays for the rest of his career.
Now, I got some tangents for you. You got some tangential, I got some tangential. All sport related, though, so good. Okay, so in the 2000, I want to say, 14 World Cup?
Make sure you're certain of what you're saying there.
Yeah, that's sure. 2014 World Cup. A Scandinavian man of some sort put on a long odds bet that Luis Suarez would bite someone in the World Cup. Do you remember this?
No.
Luis Suarez had bitten people in his club career, but it was 100 and something to 1 that he would bite someone in the World Cup.
Why is there a market on that?
It was like a weird market. Like, look at this funny market. We're Scandinavians, do the market. And he did it, and he bit him, and he got heaps of money out of it, right?
Right.
So Luis Suarez recently has changed teams to Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid have a forward called Diego Costa. Maybe Douglas Costa. Douglas Costa. Yeah, Douglas Costa. Diego Costa. And Diego Costa's known for being a bit of a rough guy. He's a Spanish man. Luis Suarez is a Uruguayan. And
sorry, give me that again.
Uruguayan.
All right. We'll let that go.
In a press conference this week, Diego said, well, I'd love to welcome Suarez to the club. We all know how it's going to be. I'll do the fighting and he'll do the biting. In a press conference. It's like, you champion.
You hear that? That's a cuckoo.
Maybe it's a cuckoo with podcast aspirations.
Or he's just going, he just has thoughts on Novak. Well, we certainly covered the topic of Novak there.
We did.
So, round 4 in the NFL, and COVID rearing its head. You said round 4 when we...
I think we had a bet, didn't we? Yeah. I thought it was amazing that we got to round 3 and there had been one test, one positive test, I think. But it all...
So that's one way to get the season under your belt.
Isn't that the Trump vibe, isn't it? Yeah, no one's sick because we're just not testing anyone, so that's fine. But so what's happened is one game was postponed for quite a while.
Yeah.
Because one team tested positive. It sounded like there was 5 or so of their staff and stuff like that. And then the main reason that they had to postpone it was they shut their facility for deep cleaning for a week. But so what they did was they moved it, and now it was...
Shut the fuck up! He's saying... Oh, there he is up there.
I can see him.
Yeah.
And so they have moved the 2 teams that were playing each other, the one with the COVID, the one without, but just were playing against them. They've postponed that match and called it their bye round. Now, in this sport, you only get one bye round. So if it happens to either of these, I don't know what's going to happen to either of these clubs if that happens again.
It sounds like you can choose when your bye is.
Well...
What if the other team doesn't agree?
They didn't get to choose. I reckon the Steelers would have wanted to play against a depleted kind of,
Yeah.
But no, so the NFL just said, well, your bye round's moved. It's this weekend, guys.
And when is this weekend?
Exactly. Oh, it's this weekend.
This weekend.
And then another one was Cam Newton, Scram-ass Newton, as I call him, who now plays for the New England Patriots, tested positive and couldn't play. So he's their star quarterback at the moment. So they had to bring in their other, and they had been smart about this, completely separate, never talked to him, other quarterback, Brian Hoyer. And so they got pumped up.
But was that tactical for COVID, or no one liked him?
No one liked Brian.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, look, it's not too bad as yet, but I feel like it's going to go downhill.
Yeah, all right. Meg Lanning, cut and sick. Now the highest ODI batting average in the chase innings, the second innings of any Australian history.
I can't, I was thinking, you told me this before we went on air so I could prepare. Are we on air? I don't know if you call it on air. And I was trying to think of second half batting, just consistency that I remember, and I can't really come up with anything.
Well, the next person on the list is James Faulkner. You might remember him as a renowned finisher. But there was a bit of fucking daylight between Meg and Faulkner. So
I want to say I feel like I remember Matty Hayden having a good second go. Does that feel right? I don't know.
If it was a flat track,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. Matty couldn't handle a bit of...
flat track bully.
Yeah, there you go. Good on you, Meg. That's awesome.
Yeah, sensational.
I quite like that we are doing non-gendered records.
Yeah, just...
Do you know what I mean? It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. You have the best second...
If you're caning ass, you get recognised.
That's what they always say. If you're caning ass,
that's what my priest said to me.
Yeah. I like it.
There's a new Tasmanian NBL team called the Jack Jumpers.
Ants, right? It's ants.
It's ants, yeah.
But they can jump very high for an ant.
All right, that's impressive. Is that what? So they just looked for an animal that could jump high rather than an animal that might...
I think it had to fit a few criteria. An animal that could jump high and be local.
Local, right.
Yeah.
But is it one of the bitey kind of ants?
Well, when you think about ant, yeah, I think it's a bitey ant.
Okay.
But your ants can carry a lot more than they weigh, right?
Oh, so this is something kind of metaphorical. They're going to carry Tasmania's hopes with them.
I like that. Or very heavy basketballs.
Okay.
Use more of a medicine ball in their training. Maybe that's their go.
What if they're going to integrate with the Hurricanes and maybe do
some kind of ant-hurricane
player swap if necessary?
What are the Hurricanes?
The Hobart Hurricanes.
Is that
the T20?
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. Is the
only other, apart from the Sheffield Shield, the only other kind?
Are there any hurricanes in Tasmania?
No.
Why'd they name them that?
I don't know. Are there any scorchers in Perth?
Yeah, it gets real hot, right?
It gets,
you used a bad...
like a thing that's a scorcher.
Well, I think a day.
A day,
all right. Okay, a hot day.
Right. That's good. Are there any renegades in Melbourne? There probably are.
Probably is, yeah.
Right.
Dan Andrews creating some renegades at the moment.
What's the worst one of those BBL things? Sixers?
Sixers is pretty kind of like not thinky, isn't it? I mean, Hurricane seems like they just pulled it out of a hat now. Though.
Well, I think they wanted something that started with H to go with Hobart.
Thunder, I mean, you kind of relate that to fast bowling.
Yeah, and whacking a ball hard.
Yeah.
Stars is pretty wanky,
Stars is pretty shit, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think it's like such an... you could get some really cool names going, especially in like the Big Bash, which is 10 years old, something like that. Why didn't we come up with better names 10 years ago? Who came up with these names?
Well, they sound like they're trying to be NBA kind of names.
Back to one of our favourite topics on this podcast. People are loving more and more the Washington football team this year. They're being called the team or football team, which I just really like.
Sidetrack there with BBL talk.
This is a sidetrack podcast, mate.
Well, I want to talk about something important now. I'm just going to a couple of NRL things, right? And just be very careful. Lodgy. Lodgy. Matt Lodge on the chopping block as Kevy Walters starts to shape his new team. Is it smart to tell Lodgy that he's in trouble, in danger?
No, but maybe...
LeBron style?
But maybe Kevy's come in and gone, what's this you've done in New York? What's going on here? How did you get a job, mate?
Weren't they going to make you captain?
Yeah, well, get out of here, Matty. Like, maybe finally someone's got some sense there.
That's it. You just heard Kevy come and going. He says, who's the bloke that went mad in New York? And Lodgy trying to hide. No, he's trying to hide behind a locker. Going, I see you back there.
Yeah, maybe he's finally going, you should not be playing. You should not be a role model. You shouldn't be doing that. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if Kevy cops a whack about the head or some kind of home invasion.
Don't give Lodgy warning that you're after him.
No, jeez, he'll come for you. Although aren't we led to believe that the incident was some kind of episode? Maybe a drug-induced episode.
Interior decorating episode.
Yep.
Rearrange the house a bit. Look, I'm going to move on. It's just something that I thought needed flagging for Kevy's sake. Maybe he doesn't know about New York. Maybe
someone should let him know about New York.
You just go, Kevy, he's not the guy you're kind of...
It's me on the Matty Odgley.
All right, some breaking news just before we record here. The block of cheese, Brandon Smith. There's footage of him today. There's Storm players walking past some people. And it turns out the coach, Craig Bellamy's grandson, is right at the front, watching the Storm players go by, enjoying a lollipop. Block of cheese just stole that lollipop right off him and kept walking.
So, I want your opinions on this. There's a couple of questions I have. Was it premeditated? Did he know that this kid was Bellamy's relation? Or does he just have a habit of stealing lollies from children? Because both are incredibly bizarre, weird, and
either
evil.
way, it's enjoyable.
Yeah. Oh.
I like to think he knows that it's Bellamy's grandson because you'd have to think that they would be around the family would be around the table.
Oh yeah, there's Bellamy's grandkid.
Yeah.
I've seen him. That's
Premeditated. It didn't look premeditated. However, I've just come up with a theory in the last 20 seconds.
Please lay it on me.
Maybe Cam Smith dropped on them that he wants to play another year, and Brandon's gone, well, I'm leaving anyway. May as well get a lollipop out of it, right? Because Brandon will leave if.
So
Cam
you think he
stays.
was doing it specifically for the lollipop?
I think
No kind of message being sent. No, nothing like that. Just I want a lollipop.
I think he was value adding onto his severance package. One lollipop as well.
Yeah.
2/3 of a chuppa chup.
How old's the kid? Do you know? It's a kid, right?
Yeah,
it's not like an 18-year-old.
No. It looks maybe 5, 6.
It'd be more intimidating if it was an 18-year-old.
Yeah.
And a large football player stole your lolly.
But also, Brandon Smith doesn't look scary. He is scary.
Yeah,
because he's fucking mental.
He's crazy, man.
But, but he's got a friendly kind of round face and just doesn't look all that intimidating.
That's what he wants you to think. Yeah. Where are we at with Cam Smith? Is he playing on?
He doesn't feel like telling anyone.
Yeah, so it's still up in the air.
It's the same shit as last year. He did this shit last year. Just waited until after the season was over to decide to play again. You've got 2 premium hookers on standby.
Well, who are you talking about? Yeah, okay, so you are talking about Harry Grant. Yeah, I was going to say, because Harry Grant's
whose careers are on hold until they find out what Cam Smith did. Both of them Brandon slightly longer, but they've been waiting for Brandon to go.
Harry Grant's pretty young, and he's
yeah, but he's also
very
What
good.
if he's in the top form of his career at the moment, which he's certainly in fantastic form. He might be in his crack form of his career. He's going to waste it on the bench for Storm.
Do you think there's any possibility that Cam Smith goes somewhere else?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there is too.
But I think, I don't know, it's just frustrating. It's really frustrating. And everyone goes, he's done so much for the game, he deserves to decide when. How about...
That's not how it works.
But it's a business.
Yeah, exactly.
How are Melbourne Storm meant to do their business?
Yeah. Well, we know how they do their business.
All right, last little headline I've got here at the moment. It's a headline I saw slightly earlier. Katie Price claims boyfriend Carl Woods is the real deal. Any thoughts on that?
Cool.
You know Katie Price, Jordan?
I do.
Yeah.
Why are we listening? What? Her boyfriend? Who is her boyfriend?
Carl Woods.
Who's Carl Woods?
Well, her boyfriend, and he's the real deal, according to this headline. Thoughts, Monty?
What does he do?
It's not relevant. Is he the real deal?
Is this a sports headline you've got here?
Oh, yeah, we're worried about that all of a sudden, aren't we?
Yeah, good point. Well, good for Jordan.
Yeah, good for Jordan.
She's got a boyfriend who's the real deal.
Yeah.
How old is Jordan now?
I don't know.
50s?
Maybe. Who cares? She's got a boyfriend who's the real deal. Things are going well for her.
Yeah, fair. Good point.
The world. It's a weird place. My name's Stuart Buckland, and some guests and I are going to look at all the weird stuff that happens in this world of ours. Is that suitably vague enough for you? bit weird, but fair enough, I guess. Find this podcast wherever you listen to other podcasts.
And we're back. Monty, well done on not mentioning any of the batshit crazy stuff happening in America at the moment with Trumpy and COVID and waving to people from a car with Secret Service people he's probably infected. And,
In a hermetically sealed car.
and him being on roids and crazy tweeting.
Speaking of that, I did have something I wanted to bring up about the NFL. My team, the San Diego Superchargers, formerly the San Diego Superchargers, now the Los Angeles Chargers, their starting quarterback, Tyrod Taylor, was due to start last week, I believe. And in pre-game, they were giving him some pain injections because of what they do. And our team doctor pierced his lung.
Oh.
And so he's out now, out for 4 weeks. And the younger backup quarterback is playing quite well. And he might lose his job to the younger backup quarterback because the team doctor pierced his lung with a needle.
Yeah. Well, why not?
It's malpractice, man.
Is that the new doctor?
Yeah, malpractice. That's insane.
Yeah.
Especially if he can't lose his job. You can't do that. Like as a human, you can't say, well, we accidentally injured you. Now this kid's better than you. You're not playing again.
I like how we got to that from Crazy Trump.
Well, I thought malpractice.
Yeah. It's getting hot in here.
So take off all your clothes.
All right. I just wanted to talk about a little article that I saw. We like to talk about articles here. Last week's episode's pretty a good example.
It was very article heavy, that last
It
episode.
was, and light on sport, but that's okay.
Oh, wasn't it? There was a bit of sport mention in there, wasn't there? Wasn't there something? Didn't he do something sport? Oh, he fixed bikes. That's what he did. It's not really sport.
So a little article here. Sunny side up. Colourful Williams back as Raiders relish his return. So Sonny Bill Williams was out injured from the prelim final last week.
Yeah.
Which Roosters only lost by a point. Great game with the Panthers.
Yeah, that was a good game of football.
Yeah. Yeah, but, Sonny Bill, everyone's on Sonny watch.
Love it.
Got to watch Sonny.
Oh, mate.
What's Sonny doing? The premise of this article seems to be around things that Billy was wearing. Sonny Bill.
Well, I was just about to say to you, do you think he'd be as big a name if he just called himself Bill Williams?
Bill Will.
Yeah, Bill Will?
Yeah.
Is it? Bill's usually short for William, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is his name Sonny William Williams?
So, here's the article. If the Roosters were trying to send smoke signals...
What? One sec. Rudy!
Oh, that's a hole.
Stop digging that hole!
That's a big hole. How long is that? Did they just dig that?
Rudy! Get out. No, he's been working on that for months. Rudy, come on, mate. You know I don't want you to do that. Good boy. Sorry about that. Go on, then.
So if the Roosters were trying to send smoke signals from Sydney's Sporting Cathedral, then no one was quite sure what message they wanted to get across about Sonny Bill Williams.
Can we just break that down real quick? So we're sending smoke signals from the Sport Cathedral?
Yeah, so at first I thought this was some sort of...
Is this a papal thing?
Racist thing against Native Americans, but...
I was thinking more papal when the Pope dies and we're waiting for...
When they wait for...
the white smoke.
Pope. Yeah. Well, I think that's showing their hand in terms of how they feel about Sonny Bill's value for
He's Pope-like.
journalistic stuff. But the dual international who missed the Tricolour's gripping qualifying final loss to the Panthers because of a neck complaint was back in training at the SCG on Monday. Right, great.
The Sporting Cathedral. SCG.
So far, so good.
Okay.
He wore a blue shirt and then a pink shirt.
Get out.
And later a green shirt.
No. What is it? Why do we care about that?
Well, it's sorry. It's the third paragraph, first line of third paragraph of the story.
That's very important.
This has huge significance.
Sure.
He moved freely during a warm-up and a series of light drills before the session was closed to the media. So
are you telling me he's changed shirts 3 times before the session was closed to the media?
Yeah, so fuck, how many times did he change it after?
Do you reckon... Also, no, what I was thinking was, did he come out with 3 shirts on and take them off?
Oh, just like...
Yeah.
Just to mess with one journo. Every time one journo's head went down, he just ripped it off. And
Yeah, I love
shirt.
it. Love it.
Look, his right knee remained heavily strapped, but that's been a common sight since his third coming in the NRL. Third coming?
It's
this is
very
religious.
Yeah.
At Trent Robinson's request, weeks after the Toronto Wolfpack withdrew from the Super League. I'm waiting to see if the Tops get another mention here because
I hope they do.
Because the whole headline was about how colourful Sonny Bill was being. But if it's just one line saying that he changed his shirts, that'll be pretty upsetting.
And a weird basis for an article.
Exactly, my point. That's why I brought it to you.
Good.
I thought it was pretty odd.
Go on.
For another day at least, the question of will he play remains. Robinson was confident on Friday night. Roosters officials are also confident. But is Williams confident? Well, you don't wear 3 different colour shirts if you don't have some confidence about you, do you?
Or maybe you're quite unconfident and you think maybe another colour shirt will make me feel better about stuff.
I need to,
This
increase
green
my
is not
flair.
working for me.
It's just talking about whether he'll play or not, conjecture,
Hearsay?
and the fact that, he's not match fit, which is not
Wasn't
really
he-
a surprise.
But isn't he only playing like 5 minutes a match?
Well, slightly more than that. Yeah. The rest of the article is just about will he, won't he play. So
So the shirt stuff was just an in. Got us hooked, didn't it?
So shouldn't the headline be something about mystery surrounds Sonny Bill's ability to play rather than
Mystery surrounds his shirt
mystery
choices.
around why he changed his shirt 3 times? That we know of.
To be fair, we haven't got an answer to either, really, have we?
No, and I don't know if the journo put it to us, Sonny Bill, did he change it more times after the session was closed? Like, follow up.
Please. The shirt seemed rather important. Was he watching the game? Was it just that he was maybe playing on a different team in the training and they wore green shirts? You know what I mean? Like at soccer training, sometimes you put on a vest.
Maybe he had different sponsors on
Not a
different
vest,
shirts
a
and had
big-
to give them all equal time
There you go.
to the cameras.
I did when I went to that last Tigers game this year, the Benji one. I noticed that each player is individually sponsored by some weird places.
Yeah, some super local businesses. Right?
Yeah. Joev's hairdressing, that kind of vibe.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you want to talk about?
Nah, mate, that was a weird one.
Episode?
No, weird story he brought
right.
me. Yeah, like, I'll be dreaming about his coloured shirts now, not knowing what's going on.
All right, Monty. Well, that'll do us. Tune in next week. We're gonna pretty much be on Sunny Watch just to see how many different coloured items of clothing he wears during the week.
Check out our socials. I'll tweet any different shirts he puts on.
Please. Yeah. We'll be right on that. And shut the fuck up. I'm doing a wrap up. That's an Indian miner now.
They're the worst of all the birds.
Yeah, but they're not scared. They're not scared of anybody.
They're gangsters, bro.
I've seen this quite a few times before.
Yeah.
But I saw like a falcon
Yep, I know falcons.
getting chased by.
Yeah, no, a group of them though. They're gangsters.
2 or 3.
Yeah, they're little. They take over streets too.
They don't give a fuck, mate.
No, they're little. I don't like them. They're the worst Indian miners.
And they're not scared of magpies.
No,
And we're
I
terrified of
am.
magpies.
Yeah. I don't get it.
Anyway, see you next week.
Bye.
Forgotten about me, hadn't you? Well, I'm alive and well. Don't ask me how I did it, the tale is long and full of twists. Actually, I just moved out of the way of the train before it hit. I'm fast, you see. Jesus has blessed me with lightning pace. Watch me outrun this wild baboon. My limbs. You have made them your dinner.
Hello, my name is Piers Grove, and I'm a founder, publisher, and managing director. In March 2022, I'd just been named Managing Director of Australian Geographic and set up Scout Publishing. Then everything changed. 404 Brain Not Found, the podcast for stroke survivors and their friends and colleagues. We explore the absurd experience and frustrating journey of stroke recovery. 404 Brain Not Found, a general experiments podcast on all podcast streamers.
My name's Stu.
I'm Rachel.
And we are fans
Obsessives might be the word.
of the 90s. The 90s. The 90s. The 90s. You can follow the podcast on your favourite podcast app. Rachel, what's the name of the show?
Swinging on the flippity flop.
Why the 90s?
We lived it.
We lived it, we were it.
Was it the best decade ever or the lamest? Let's find out.
Flippity flop.